hard with as much pressure, but he'll be adjusting that to suit the conditions.
Colin Turkington, a very focused man indeed, as he accelerates his way down towards Clearways, then to Clark Curve, just keeping an eye out of the window to see if anybody does bail for the pits. Not yet. Everybody is making their way up towards the grid, so those that are on the wets still convinced if they can get away early and perhaps build a lead, maybe they hope that they're going to preserve it. But of course, that point, going back to what Aidan Moffat said about safety car intervention, that's going to make the race longer, which will give the track the chance to drive, of course, even more so before the end.
Very much so. Graham Hill is the corner that worries me, because the right rear is the coldest tyre on the car. So turning into there, watch the front wheel drive cars. They'll be leaning on that, gingerly hoping they've got enough temperature in the right rear.
So far, nobody has elected to pit. Everybody is making their way up towards the grid, and the last couple of cars are just coming down towards Clearways. There, lagging back rather, is Josh Cook. He's fallen a long way behind Brett Smith, the medical car and the chase car behind. And when Josh Cook slots into place, we will have the green flag shown. That means that everybody is back from the warming up lap and we are good to go racing. 3 more races to decide the 2017 British Touring Car Champion. Round 28 on the full Grand Prix circuit at Brands Hatch is about to get underway. Jack Goff is the man on pole. Directly behind him is Ash Sutton, the championship leader, starting 17th. Colin Turkington, we are ready to go racing. The lights go red, but the lights go out now. It is blast off. Good start is made by Moffat, who closes up and then almost gets alongside Jack Goff. Sutton moves across to try to defend from Rob Austin. They go side by side down towards Paddock. The two leaders overlap. Sutton is third. Goff sideways. Is he going to recover? He's going to come across the road and slide onto the grass. Sutton goes second. Goff is off into the tyres. Bad news for him in the Independence Trophy Championship fight as the leaders head into Druids, and Sutton has gained a place already, but Moffat leads the way. Ingram's up to third. Jake Hill is fourth. Rob Austin is fifth as they all wriggle their way downhill for the first time. It's still very, very tippy-toey, isn't it?
Well, that must have been a heart-in-the-mouth moment for Ash Sutton as Goff's car came swiping across the front of him. That could have easily changed the championship right there and then.
Absolutely right. So, eyes out on stalks. Ash Sutton continues. Colin Turkington is busy here. Chris Smiley going round the outside of Gordon Shedden, and there's contact. Smiley gets all sideways. There's Jordan. Look at the way the wets are working at the moment. Round the outside of Shedden, 3 wide they come, so Jordan's making progress. Turkington's falling back a little bit. Is there room for all of them? Shedden in the middle, goes ahead of Smiley. Jordan powers round the outside. Brave stuff this, down towards Hawthorns. Wow, Josh Cook out from the back of the grid on wet tyres. He is making progress as well. And Turkington trying to keep out of trouble, but he's giving away places at the moment, waiting for the track to dry.
Well, Jordan enjoying those wets and the benefit of the extra grip at the moment. I'm not sure how long they'll last, but hats off to Aidan Moffat. This is just, look, the back is going. He's got on the throttle. He's trying to save it straight across the front and into the tyres backwards. And I believe he's actually carried on as Jack Goff.
And we understand there's a drive-through penalty for Jake Hill for an out-of-position start, a false start, and the same for Josh Price. So drive-throughs being given to them as you see the replay of Jack Goff from on board. We've done a lap and Moffat leads the way. The Donington winner is ahead of Ash Sutton. It's Tom Ingram running third. Jake Hill's fourth on the road. Then it's Rob Austin. Sixth is Jason Plato. Remember, he's on wet. Seventh is Chilton. Eighth is Matt Jackson, making progress up from 15th. Ninth is Adam Morgan. And 10th is Senna Proctor. Where's Andrew Jordan at the end of the lap? He's 13th.
But Turkington has actually gone backwards. He's down in 19th place, so he's lost 2 places.
Yeah, so Sutton's gained. Turkington has lost out. That's what I was saying on that first lap. He's losing places, waiting for the track to come to him. Jordan round the outside of Newsham. They touch, and Andrew Jordan keeps his foot in. This is also going to be fascinating for Dunlop's Forever Forward Award come the end of the weekend to see who's been the best advancer, because you've got people rising and falling up the order. Morgan is all sideways at Surtees. Does he catch it? No, he's off the road. Marshall's stuck. Morgan headbutts the tyres. Can he hook a gear and rejoin? I think he can. Fingers crossed it's not done too much damage, but it shows how treacherous it still is.
It's a bit like bumper cars, isn't it? Off the barriers and carry on. And those marshals, I think they've been in that position before. They were down behind the barrier before you could say, watch out.
So there you've got the Tom Chilton Vauxhall losing out to a charging Matt Jackson, who always shines around here, and that has now put Matt Jackson up to 7th position. The leader is Aidan Moffat then, and it's Ash Sutton in 2nd place, and he can just afford to sit there, can't he, now, and bank the points. But what about Turkington? He was 19th going on to this lap, And this will be the end of lap number 2 of 15 as they come across the timing line. So Moffat it is who leads the way. Sutton second. Tom Ingram is closing a little bit on that lap. Ingram is lapping quicker. So can the Speedworks Toyota find a way through up into second place, which of course is good for Tom, but bad for Ash in terms of taking points away from him for the championship. The leading 3 concertinaing up at Druids, aren't they now?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. This will be the first test of Ash Sutton's temperament as Ingram closes on the back bumper very close. Is Ash going to defend, or is he going to let him go past and take a solid third place? There's no danger immediately behind that.
There's Ingram to the inside at Surtees, but Sutton makes the car as wide as he can. He's not going to give places away, is he? But he doesn't want to put himself in stride. So here they come out of Surtees. They're not that far behind Aidan Moffat, who's not escaping as yet on the option slick, and Adam Morgan's car is disassembling itself there. He's had another off, and this was the first of them. This was at Surtees when it went left and it went right and it went back into the tyres.
Yeah, he caught the first part of it, didn't he? But it did a windscreen wiper job on it and came back the other way.
And then he's had another drama somewhere. As you look at the leading trio, Aidan Moffat leads the way. It was only 8/10 of a second starting this lap, but Sutton now is feeling the pressure. Tom Ingram right there behind him. They come towards Stirling's. In 4th place, it is Jake Hill, but that's a notional 4th because he's got this drive-through that he's got to serve. Adam Morgan has carried on. Despite the damage, he's going to have to pit because that car's looking very second-hand as the leaders dive into Clark Curve. Moffat, then Sutton, then Ingram.
What a great shame for Jake Hill, though, because that's going to affect his whole weekend. You know, a strong race now would have meant he could have started race 2 in a good position. Now he's going to have to start from near the back, and he's so wanted to finish this year in a good 3 races.
Same is true of Adam Morgan, isn't it? Same true of Josh Price, who had to serve that drive-through as well. You're looking back from Ash Sutton's car. There is Tom Ingram, the Independence Trophy Championship leader, closing right up under braking. But Sutton is defending. He's not just going to wave him by. He is going to try and hang on to that place. The lap times are getting better. These are all on slick tyres, and their lap times are improving all the while.
Yeah, every lap will get quicker. I'm just going to have a look at what Andy Jordan's lap time is when he comes across the line. And he's not quite over the line yet. Yes, he is. It was the last lap for Jordan was actually slower, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's just up the inside of Gordon Shedden there, look, so he's still trying to fight for places, but at the start of this lap, Gordon Shedden was behind Andy Jordan. He's about to try and go past him. Jason Plato is on Wetsby, understanding he's lost a place to Senna Proctor last time through. Fastest lap of the race, Tom Ingram, 1:37.7, and that is on slicks. Turkington in replay, battling with Epps, with Simpson, with Josh Cook down towards Graham Hill Bend. At the start of the lap, Turkington was 17th. Contact with Epps. Turkington, bear in mind, is not yet in the points.
No, getting nothing out of this, and it looked like an awkward little contact there with the bunching up at Graham Hill. And look at listen to the wheel spin. There's Mike Epps on the outside. He's going to get, I think, actually, yeah, Turkington just couldn't slow the car down, and then he's slow off the corner after the contact. He's trying to make places, but also trying to stay out of trouble.
So do we read into this that wets are working better on front-wheel drive than rear-wheel drive for the moment, at least? Or
it's definitely too dry for the wets. I mean, yeah. Jordan is going around 5 seconds slower than the leaders.
But the front-wheel drive cars, Ingram and Moffat, look as though they're doing OK on slicks. Turkington's rear-wheel drive BMW is struggling a little. Of course, Ash Sutton Subaru is rear-wheel drive, and he's got no dramas whatsoever. So the leading 3 now as one. Aidan Moffat feeling the pressure. He now wants another race win, but he's got Sutton tucked up behind him. And can Ingram capitalise and get past 1, possibly get past 2? 3 for the lead on lap 5 of 15.
If I was Sutton, I would absolutely let Ingram through and let Ingram take the fight to Moffat. He's got no danger behind. He can easily give up 1 point. Being in the middle of the sandwich is the riskiest place to be.
But we saw how he's a fighter at Silverstone, and here comes Ingram, but Sutton does defend. He moves across, he covers the line. Aidan Moffat's not escaping, as here there's a damaged Mike Epps Volkswagen, staying ahead of Josh Cook. Colin Turkington is still there, and he's down to 19th place now. 1 gained, he's ahead of Cook, but he's about to lose out because right with him now is the recovering Jack Goff. So Goff there, look, in the front-wheel drive Honda, after his trip into the tyres, has caught up and now passed Turkington. The BMWs are having a nightmare weekend.
It's just not working for them, is it? I just cannot understand how Sutton can switch on the tyres, the slick tyres on his rear-wheel drive car. And Ingram is through on the inside. inside. That's good.
So that's second place for Tom Ingram, and it's a safe decision by Ash Sutton to give away a place, but he's still massively outscoring Turkington, increasing the championship lead. So up to second spot goes the Speedworks Toyota. The Laser Tools Racing Mercedes leads the way. The gap was 6/10 when they went over the timing line, and we understand that it's now starting to spit with rain. Not all the way around the lap, but at certain parts we get reports now that it's starting to spit with rain once again. We've done 5 laps, whisper it, no safety car, and Aidan Moffat leads the way. Ingram is second, Sutton is third, and look at the gap. They have pulled over everybody else.
Yeah, they're absolutely gone. I mean, 11.5 seconds is the gap back to Rob Austin.
Then he's fourth. Matt Jackson's fifth. Great drive by Matt. This sixth is Tom Chilton. Senna Proctor seventh. Both Vauxhalls going well, despite the fact Tom was saying to me this morning they don't have a great wet setup, but both cars running absolutely together, doing a really good job here, getting up the order. Senna Proctor's been rally crossing early on. You can see how muddy the car is, but that's so close. That giant 8-wheel Astra currently occupying 6th and 7th places. Now Ingram sprinting away from Sutton. What can he do about the race leader? Moffat actually is building the gap quicker than Ingram in sector 1 and sector 2.
Yeah, and still the lap times get quicker. They're in the low 36s now.
Here was the move. Ingram to the inside, coming through Clark Curve.
Yeah, and it looked like Ash just left the door open, didn't accelerate too fast. Maybe the team have been on the radio, obviously listening to our commentary, David, and decided to agree with us.
So, Aidan Moffat still leads the way. It's been a long time between wins. Can he take a second of the season? He won at Donington, remember, early on in the season. He leads here. Tom Ingram is second. Ash Sutton, 6 times a winner. He is in third spot. Ingram's had 4 victories to his name this year. Then it's Matt Jackson, race winner. He's fourth, ahead of Rob Austin. So we've had a change between those two, 4th and 5th. Chilton 6th, Proctor is 7th. Turkington 19th out of the points. Andrew Jordan in the meantime is 60th. We are now seeing those on wets losing places, dropping down the order. Shedden's up to 8th. He's another making progress ahead of Dave Newsham. And Jason Plato on wets is falling away. He was in the top 10 and he has now dropped away. In fact, he's not yet come over the timing line. Austin is off the road there, however, and that's at Graham Hill Bend. He's going to get back on, but he's going to lose place after place after place. Gordon Shedden goes through, Dave Newsham goes through, so that's going to put Rob Austin 9th, and Stephen Jelly is out wide and through the gravel. James Cole and others get ahead of him, and there's Jake Hill after his enforced pit stop. Brett Smith to the inside of James Cole. Apart from the top 3 now, there are battles everywhere.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's drizzling with rain a bit more, and that's what's good. Goff is making rapid progress though, isn't he? Up behind Matt Simpson now.
This environment for Jack Goff, Eurotech and the Honda and the Total engine, it's all really gelled. It's starting to work a lot better for him this year, and it's a nice happy place for him to be, and he's responding to that. Now here is Turkington ahead of Plato now, so Turkington is up the order, but only to 17th and out of the point. Wiper on, there is a little bit of moisture again still being present there.
Yeah, look, and the screen actually is dry, but it's got dirty from the car's course cutting. Looks like he's just got them on the intermediate ride. Yeah. There's not actually any moisture there.
So last time around, Tom Ingram did the fastest lap of the race. You're looking at Matt Simpson versus Jack Goff. Tremendous recovery this by Goff. He was 15th at the start of the lap, and there's more to gain before the very end. Bearing in mind he's spun and has been in the tyre barrier, and he's caught up and he's carved his way through half the field. This is a mighty drive. Yeah, a real shame for that first corner spin, but it's so difficult when you are the first guy on the track to hit the marks, hit the corners on a slippery track. He's going through on the inside, nice clean manoeuvre. Remember, it's difficult to pass offline. He nearly had a repeat then of lap 1. And here comes Turkington. Epps goes ahead. Look, Epps goes ahead of Simpson. Turkington tries to go through as well. Mike Epps then gains a spot. Turkington hustling on to try to salvage even 1 point out of this. Is he there now? Yes, he was 15th at the start of the laps, and he's gained a place over Simpson. He's up to 14th. Whoopie-doo. It's not enough, is it? It's nothing like enough. He needs a big dose of luck to help him, and that means bad luck for Ash Sutton somewhere, but Sutton's in a very comfortable 3rd place. Look, he's letting the 2 in front get on with it. He doesn't need to take any risk. That lead that he has over Rob Austin's now gone out because Austin had that spin, and it's now Matt Jackson 13 seconds behind him. So Moffat, Ingram, Sutton remains the top three, but the lead gap is a fifth of a second. On board with Sutton, look how close it is up the road. Ingram is going to challenge, possibly Druids. No, Aidan Moffat sees him coming, covers the line. But Mercedes has always worked well around Brands Hatch, and right from the start of the weekend in free practice, both Aidan Moffat and Adam Morgan looking quick, feeling confident. And Aidan Moffat, who's heading a good place this weekend, is rising to the occasion. We've seen some very good days out of Aidan this year, some not so good days, and now he's under attack from Ingram as he tries on the outside. Wide in, tight out, is that the game plan? Let's see. Ingram crawling all over the back of the Mercedes. He looks a little bit quicker, and of course if they hold themselves up, Sutton will come back at them. Ingram now on the lights.
Yeah, but Sutton is better off just keeping a little bit of distance there. He doesn't want to be so close to them that he gets involved in an incident. But you know what? Ingram, as much as he would like to win, he's also thinking of the independence title. He started off his year brilliantly on the club circuit here, didn't he, on the Indy circuit with a win and another podium. I'm sure he'd like to finish the season with another win, but he is also protecting that lead. Moffat a little bit wide through Sheen Curve, just getting a little bit desperate and a little bit defensive.
And behind these two, Ash Sutton can't help himself because he's done two absolute best in the sectors on this lap. So, although Tim, understandably, is saying he can just lift and sit there and watch it all happening, the racer in Ash Sutton is trying to get him back onto terms with those two because he's got a quick car underneath him and they're holding each other up by squabbling, but he just can't help himself. He's still pushing as they come over the timing line. The lead gap is 0.215. Ingram right there on the tail of Aidan Moffat. Huge pressure for the young Scotsman here.
It is, but we know he can do it. We know he's done it before. We know he can do it. He needs to soak it up. The track is still getting quicker though. The lap time's still getting better. And now down in the 34s.
And with three for the lead once again. Look, there is Sutton back onto the tail of Ingram. Fastest lap of the race, by the way, now. Gordon Shedden, last time through, a 1:34.4. Shedden runs 7th. Turkington over the line last time was 14th. He's about to complete the equivalent lap as there. Jake Hill goes ahead of Andrew Jordan. Now remember that Jake has had to serve a drive-through penalty. So he's on slicks, Jordan is on wets, and the Volkswagen CC just breezes by. Turkington, you're on board. He's still only 14th. That's going to net 2 points.
Not enough, is it? Definitely not enough.
So Gordon Shedden is the fastest man on track at the moment. Turkington looks like he's trying to find a way past X, but of course Jack Goff has caught and passed and pulled away from the pair of them, and Turkington is still stuck there. The BMWs not having the pace at all, it seems, around here this weekend. Here's the lead fight, and Sutton is back with them.
What is he doing? He just needs to sit 50 yards behind. He just can't help himself.
Exactly. Like I said a lap ago, with those two absolute best in the sectors. The racer is there, as we saw at Silverstone. So the next time you talk about him just sitting there, shout it, Tim. He clearly can't hear. Over the line they come. It is Moffat leading. It's Ingram second. It's 3/10 between them. Half a second back is Sutton, who gets close, has a look, and then does drop back a little here, but Aidan Moffat still leads the way. He goes a bit wider than Ingram does. We're on lap 11 out of 15. Whisper it again. No safety car, amazingly, given the conditions and the intensity of the racing. But Aidan Moffat, thus far, BRDC Rising Star, has done a great job, has he not, of hanging on to the advantage, and now it's Ingram that feels the pressure because Sutton arrives on the tail of him. Tim's going to say, what is he doing?
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. I mean, everybody in the BMR team, and remember there's Plato, their former champion, there's Alan Menu, there's his engineers, everybody's told him to drive with his head. Just finish race 1 and you'll be fine. And they'll be on the radio saying that Turkington's only 14. They'll be on the radio telling him he's got a lead of 15 seconds. But Ash is Ash.
Yes, let's leave it at that. Shedden is still the quickest man out there, by the way. He did another fastest lap last time. Right, Ingram is now getting a bit more toey about the race lead, isn't he? You can see him moving the car around a little bit more. He wants to find a way up past Moffat, who runs slightly wider coming out of Sheen Curve. But if anything happens between those two and Sutton is this close, it could, as it almost did at turn 1, spell disaster for him. They come into Clark Curve at the end of lap 11. The leading 3 last time covered by just 0.8 of a second. Aidan Moffat leads the way. Tom Ingram second. Ash Sutton third. Front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. Mercedes, Toyota, Subaru. Great variety in the brands and in the configuration at the front of the field. As into paddock they go. And again, it's 0.8 covering the top 3.
Yeah, it's very close there. Holding station. Moffat has got the situation covered if he doesn't lose his cool. He can drive the line. The line is very one line because there's only a drying track on line, which does help him enormously. He's much slower if he tries to defend. So he just needs to drive the line and bring it home.
So through Surtees they turn, and Colin Turkington in the meantime, he's trying to find his way up past Mike Epps. Did it work for him? Let's have a look from on board.
Mike Epps has a little bit of a taily moment as he jumps on the brakes going down the hill. Probably still too much brakes on the rear, and Turkin is able to move past. And he's lining up now Goff and Smiley as well. Goff seems to have lost a bit of his pace that he had earlier. Goff's dropping back. Goff's dropping back behind Turkington, so maybe there is some damage we didn't know about, or he's got another problem.
So that puts Turkington, when he was 13th, he's now going to be 12th behind fellow Northern Irish driver Chris Smiley. And Turkington, although he's gaining ground, is running out of laps, of course. Now we are on lap 12 out of 15, and there is Jack Goff's Honda. They're having dropped down the order somewhat this lap around, which is disappointing for Jack, given that he's fighting still for the Independence Trophy lead against Tom Ingram, who is fighting for the race lead. They go over the line, they've just put a lap on Stuart Lyons, and it's still 8 tenths covering that leading three-car battle pack.
Chilton and Proctor have circulated in tandem in the two Powermax cars, and they're running in a really good team result of 5th and 6th. Of course, Rob Huff did get that podium at Silverstone, which is by far and away their strongest result, but it's a great team result if they finish like this with Chilton and Proctor running 5th and 6th.
And some very crude maths I would offer you that it's going to be, if things stay as they are, 22 points advantage now, Sutton to Turkington going into the penultimate race. So that's a very tall order for the Northern Irish driver, the double champion Colin Turkington, to make up. Now look up the road here. They're about to put a lap on Andrew Jordan, and ahead of Jordan is Jason Plato, both starting on wets. Aidan Moffat zaps through on the inside line. Meantime, up at Druids, Chris Smiley is being attacked by Colin Turkington, who goes wide, and Jack Goff dives back on the inside. A place and points lost for Turkington.
Well, not many points, but I'd like to have seen the leaders passing those back markers. That was an anxious moment, wasn't it, for Sutton?
Well, there they are, no change in the order. So it's still Moffat from Ingram from Sutton, and Plato versus Jordan. Can you believe it? A lap down because of the tyre choice and the way the track has dried out. They're still squabbling amongst themselves. Up towards the line comes Moffat then to complete lap 13, heading for a second career touring car win as he comes through. Ingram, constant shadow to him in this race since he got up to second place. Ash Sutton still there third, and it's still 8 tenths of a second covering the top 3 drivers now with 2 more laps to go. And this is going to mean, of course, 23 points between Sutton and Turkington going into the final race, with that place lost to Jack Goff. Can he gain anything back before the very end? James Cole has just done an absolute best sector. 2 more races still to run, of course, after this, as you look at Moffat, Ingram, and then behind Ash Sutton, and more back markers up the road. Is this going to affect life?
Well, you know, you just need to pick your way through, but if you're Aidan Moffat, you're anxious because those guys don't want to move offline. Ah, they are, that's great. They're giving him the dry line, giving him the racing line. That's really good driving.
So all 3 go ahead of Jake Hill, and Aidan Moffat still leads the way. Next car to lap is the MG of Josh Cook, and he can't go through at Westfield, blue flag way. Josh Cook goes a little bit wider, so Moffat has a chance to run up the inside and go through. Ingram follows and gains track position over arch rival the season's past, Josh Cook. They've crossed swords on many an occasion, and Ash Sutton has gone through as well, passing his former teammate, of course. Last year Ash was at MG with Josh Cook.
Josh Cook was off, caused the red flag in qualifying, but it was actually a broken toe link that went on the left front, but that pitched him off the road at Clearways just here. So definitely not his fault, that.
There's Sutton on the back of Ingram as they come through together, and Moffat, look, now has got away. Ingram's defending this time as they come through to start the last lap. Aidan Moffat leads by 8 tenths, and then it's a 1/5 of a second. Ingram to Sutton. Could that change at the very end? Here comes Sutton up the inside, he attacks. He goes one side and then the other. He doesn't need to be doing this, but attack he does.
He really doesn't need How many times are we going to say, no, 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 what are you doing? He's running on 3 strikes, 1 more strike, and he misses the next race. What does he think he's got to gain? I don't believe it.
So he backs out eventually and slots back in behind Tom Ingram. If there's a place there, Ash wants it, but he doesn't need to go for it. He just needs, we've done this 15 laps, he just needs to keep out of trouble. Aidan Moffat, though, now looks like he might have a big enough advantage to preserve with less than a lap to go. Ingram is still there in 2nd place, and of course ahead of Goff. That is good news for him in the Independence Trophy. They come out of the right at Hawthorn, down towards Westfield. In the background, look, is Matt Jackson, who is charging along and doing his best to bring down the gap to the leaders. It's been an inspired race by Matt. We've not seen much of it, but he started, remember, 15th on the grid, and he now runs in 4th place. And that car getting quicker and quicker all the time. You've also got Rory Butcher going through shot a lap down because he's fallen back behind the leaders. But now Aidan Moffat has got a corner to go. In towards Clark Curve they come. It is Moffat versus Ingram. Could it change on the line? Tom Ingram's got a chance for perhaps one last roll of the dice here as they accelerate towards the line, but Aidan Moffat is going to win the first race of the day. Aidan Moffat wins for the 2nd time in his touring car career. Tom Ingram is 2nd, and 3rd goes the way of Ash Sutton. And Colin Turkington, we understand, may have lost places on the last lap. Let's see where he comes through, because the rest of the order significantly across the line is that Matt Jackson is 4th, Chilton takes 5th, Proctor is 6th, and there is Turkington. Now he's splitting the Audis, and if that's the case, it means he's in 16th place.
But it's raining, that's what's caused the problem. It's starting to rain again, quite hard in places on the last couple of laps. The wet rain coming far too late for those on wet tyres, but where is he going to cross the line? I think you're right. I think he's going to be out of the points.
So let's see. Rob Austin is 9th behind Newsham in 8th. And then Matt Neal will take 10th. Chris Smiley's 11th. Jack Goff is 12th. 13th is going to be Matt Simpson. 14th is Jackson. 15th for Turkington. He gets 1 point.
Oh. So with 2 races to go, it's going to be, well, it's going to be 20-something points. I think 22 maybe, 21, 22 points.
I reckon 24 between the
points.
2, but let's have a look at the replay. This is Turkington up at Druids, Tim.
Yeah, with Matt Simpson on the outside and just braking. Matt Simpson turns in, there's a little bit both trying to walk by. That's what happened. Yeah. The momentum lost off the corner lets the Audis through, doesn't it?
So an opportunistic pass, Ollie Jackson, right place, right time.
But what a disappointing look at the oversteer there. What a disappointing race for Turkington. I really don't know why they couldn't switch those tyres on like Sutton did. I mean, in fairness, there weren't any other rear-wheel drive cars up there, but of course Jordan started on wets, didn't he? And I believe Plato started on wets as well, as did Price. So, I don't know why Jordan couldn't, why Turkington couldn't get the slicks to work.
But the cars have just looked average all weekend, haven't they? Sadly, even across free practice, the lap times weren't stellar, and so Colin Turkington knew it was going to be a fight. He's not out of the hunt yet, 2 more races to go, but 24 points is a very big gap to make up, and you can see the disappointment there, can't you?
You can, but with the way Ash Sutton's driving at the moment, you don't know if he's going to finish the races or not. I'd love to have heard the team radio. I bet they were screaming at him on that last lap to back off, back off, back off. But, you know, well...
And well done, Aidan Moffat, because he's had a really disappointing period since that win at Donington. He's been in incidents, he's had problems with setup, all sorts of things, and kibosh the rest of his year. But that was a great drive.
It was, because he was straight on the pace from the word go in tricky conditions. He managed the race and a lot of pressure throughout without making any mistakes himself. So a really, really accomplished victory for Aidan Moffat.
And WSR, big disappointment, because they have seen the championship slide further out of reach. In the middle there, a disappointed Dick Bennett. Colin Turkington, if a car can trudge, will trudge his way down the pit lane now. The BMW went it, because that's not at all the result they wanted. The idea, the dream was that he would carve his way through the field, and with a furrowed brow, Colin Turkington heads for the pit lane. Aidan Moffat wins round 28 of the British Touring Car Championship. Tom Ingram takes 2nd, and Ash Sutton, the championship leader, increases the margin with 3rd, ahead of Matt Jackson and then Tom Chilton. It's Senna Proctor 6th, ahead of Gordon Shedden, who made great progress Dave Newsham 8th ahead of Rob Austin, and Matt Neal rounding out the top 10. 11th, Chris Smiley, then Jack Goff after a turn 1 spin. Matt Simpson 13th, Ollie Jackson 14th, and a solitary point for Colin Turkington. Ant Walton-Eels 16th ahead of Brett Smith on the back of the grid. Mike Epps down to 18th ahead of James Cole and Stephen Jelly in 20th spot. 21st, Martin Depper from Josh Price, Aaron Taylor-Smith, and then those that had to pit: Rory Butcher a lap down, Josh Cook a lap down, so too Jake Hill, Andrew Jordan, Jason Plato and Stuart Lyons, Adam Morgan. The only retirement with damage in a race amazingly devoid of safety cars. As far as the championship is concerned, Ash Sutton now has a 24-point advantage over Colin Turkington as a delighted Aidan Moffat clambers out of the car to celebrate a second race victory of the season, and the Laser Tools Racing squad delighted. Ash Sutton 24 points ahead of Turkington. Ingram is 3rd ahead of Shedden. The now absent Rob Collard 5th from Matt Neal and Jack Goff. Andrew Jordan's 8th from Matt Jackson, and then Adam Morgan rounds out the top 10. So Aidan Moffat being embraced by a wildly enthusiastic Laser Tools Racing team. Enrico Tarata, his race engineer, is there. They've had some troublesome days, it's fair to say, and some rather dark moods in the Laser Tools Racing truck, but it's all sweetness and light today. And Tom Ingram is delighted with his second place, edging closer towards that Independence Trophy, outscoring Jack Goff, and again showing the pace the Speedworks car has got. And Tom keeping out of dramas as well, having to defend the place from Ash Sutton, but all three making it to the end. And Tom wanders over to say well done to Aidan Moffat. Everywhere you look, there are Laser Tools people. Where's Speedworks got to? There they are. Dad's in the middle of it. Christian Dick, who can sense an Independence Teams trophy for his Cheshire-based team, is there to embrace Tom Ingram. And Aidan Moffat, a great race winner. And of course, Ingram jumped Shedden for 3rd in the championship as well, so 3rd overall. So that would be a lovely result for the day, wouldn't it? Absolutely right. And Ash Sutton increases the championship lead, 24 points, but he gave us a few scares along the way. And his team. Oh, dear. So we'll have to have a camera in the garage there for the next 2 races, won't we? Absolutely. Aidan Moffat is a winner for the 2nd time in the championship this season, and he can tell all to Steve Ryder.
Aidan Moffat, congratulations, and you got your youngest supporter there as well. Well done, mate.
Yeah, it's a great way to end the season, and a nice belated birthday present from Thursday, I guess. But I mean, the Laser Tools guys, the Sisley mob, they gave me a brilliant car, and the car felt amazing all weekend, and it was just my job to pedal the thing, which is easy when they do such a good job.
You still had to get it over the line, and tell us how treacherous it was in those opening laps in particular.
It was hard. Obviously, getting to first on the first lap, you're the guinea pig, so to speak. It's trying to find that balance between being cautious and not leaving yourself open to get past. So it's hard, but it's conditions like that I love. It was race 1 at Silverstone was the same, and I came through the grid. I like a car that's moving, and I'm comfortable with that, so it played into our favour.
You won at Donington. You must have felt that this was starting to become a little overdue.
Yeah, I mean, it was frustrating to say the least. After getting that first win, we thought, this is it, here we go. And it never quite amounted to anything. But yeah, to come back and get another win this year, it's fantastic.
You saw Jack Goff spearing off on that first lap. You must have thought, blimey, this is treacherous.
Yeah, well, when he was on the inside, I was almost shut the eyes and hope for the best. I thought, here we go. It's a shame that happened to Jack. I think it obviously helped us. It allowed us to get back to the dry line. But it's a shame we couldn't have had a good race after Jack being so quick and qualified. I'm sure we would have had a good battle.
That's a great positive way, not only to end the season, but to start the final day. And you're going to build on it, race 2?
There's a party on Sunday night. I'm tempted to call it quits. But no, I mean, yeah, the car feels great, obviously. We struggle a little bit with ballast. It's not something we're used to. But, I mean, I think with the next race, we've just got to try and hold our own and hopefully fight again in the 3rd race.
That was a super drive and a great win. Aidan Moffat, well done. Let's turn to the championship issues behind you. Tom Ingram and Ash Sutton. Yeah, thumbs up.
You happy? Good.
Tom, well done. That was just the start that you wanted to the day, wasn't it?
Absolutely was, and if I'm honest, very unexpected. I really wasn't expecting to be able to get us up onto the podium there. I was kind of looking towards the 5th, 4th, somewhere around there was my realistic expectation, especially with the harder tyre and the weight as well. I wasn't feeling too confident if I'm perfectly honest. And yeah, we had a large debate on the It's close. Had a large debate on the on the grid, and just we went for decided to go for slicks, and it was absolutely the right doing.
Perfect result in terms of not just the Independence Championship, but also that battle with Gordon Shedden for third place in the overall. Yeah,
obviously. I don't know what happened to Jack. I saw him sideways at the start, and I don't really know what happened. I just saw him and thought, bingo, that's just what I need. So managed to slip past Jack very easily. Gordon was he seventh? I think he was through to somewhere like that. So good to get points off, and we still a long way to go in the day, but a good start.
Tell us about the slip past Ash. Did he make it easy for you?
Yeah, well, I could see that Ash was. Ash, like me, it's very easy when you're in third place because you've got two people ahead of you to see what the circuit conditions are like. So I could see Ash was a little bit tentative because he didn't really know what was going on, and with him being rear-wheel drive as well, it made him very difficult. He had a big moment coming out of Druids, and he had a couple of squirrely moments through here. So I knew that he was not quite comfortable with how it was. So as soon as he made the little mistake, I thought I'm just going to throw it down the inside and go from there. I knew he wouldn't want to fight it too hard as well because he's obviously got the championship to go for. So I knew he wouldn't make it that difficult for me. So managed to get him, and as soon as I got past him, I had exactly the same thing that he did, straight on at Paddock Hill, big moment. It's just one of those. But really good start. Thanks to all the Speedworks boys. Let's hope for a better day as it continues through.
Well done, you. Let's bring in Ash. Ash, let's just discuss the concept of driving with your head. You're in a very comfortable third place. You're 14 seconds up the road from the bloke in fourth. Your championship contender is way down the field. Did it not cross your mind just sit back, just take these points? Because that's what Tim Harvey was shouting at you.
That's a good job I got him active and actually doing something in there. But no, obviously, when you're sat there, like Tom was saying, you're very much working out what's going on. And when you are that third car, it makes it a little bit easier. So I knew where we were stronger. He left a car width on the exit of up at Druids at turn 2, and if you should know that you never leave me a car width there because I'll always try and fit it. He closed the door, so I thought, right, I'll back out, and that was the sensible head taking over then. But I sitting and settling for that position when Colin's in P15 is just what we need.
And it took the team to be shouting at you on the radio to actually make you settle for it, though, didn't it?
Yes, it did. They did give me a word of warning, but at the end of the day, I knew what I was doing. My response back to that was, yep, don't worry, it's all under control, don't panic. Because at the end of the day, it was under control.
Great stuff. Well done, you. First of our races underway. We're off for a quick break now, but then we're going to have our first of our support races when we come back in just a few minutes.
Dunlop sponsors the British Touring Car Championship.
Be one with innovation and embrace victory. Hangul Tire and Real Madrid. Together as one.